Hey everybody, I am back in the kitchen and I am so excited to show you this recipe. I came up with it on my own and I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't even looked on Google or any of the recipe apps online to see if this recipe already exists. I mean, I'm sure it does. I know I can't take credit for it. Well, I guess I can take credit for it because this is my recipe. I don't know anybody else's. So I'm going to teach you how to make jalapeno popper dip. Now listen up, people. I love a jalapeno popper. I do. I love them. I just can't make them. I've tried to make them at home and they suck. I can never get one to be as good as what I can get in a restaurant, or sometimes you can get frozen ones that are pretty decent. But I'm telling you, they are a lot of work. And there's something about them that kind of makes me mad. When you bite into a popper that's fresh out of the fryer and it's, it's hot, you bite into that sucker, well, the skin on the jalapeno is tough. And I can never bite all the way through it, so I end up pulling it out of my mouth and losing part of the pepper. It doesn't make sense. Like, I can't bite all the way through it, so I pull it out and there's cheese in my mouth, but then my jalapeno is still stuck in my hand, and that's just ridiculous. So I have come up with a solution to that because, truth be told, I was going to show you how to make jalapeno poppers in my trial and error phase. I just decided to heck with that. It takes too much time. It's just not worth it to me because this dip is excellent. I made a trial run of this, and Brad and I, we kind of broke it down into what we liked and what we didn't like about it. Well, and this is what we've ended up with. And it is going to be perfect for your Super Bowl party. I know people love to make party food to have on hand. Well, this is going to go fast, y'all, because this tastes just like a jalapeno popper, except it's in an easy form to eat where you don't have to stand at the fryer and you don't have to stand at the oven. You just have to bake it once and take it out. And then it is nice if you can keep it warm because it does serve up beautifully when it's warm. But seriously, y'all, this is good. I'm going to turn my little trusty camp stove on. I'm going to get started. Put it in place and lock it and fire it up. All right. So, jalapeno poppers, you stuff them, you roll them, you fry them. Well, we're not going to be doing that because I'm going to fry everything in my pot first, and then we're going to make it into a dip. So, this is on a nice little heat here. So I'm just going to hit my pan with some olive oil, and we're going to start. So, I'm eyeballing it, y'all, because I don't measure. It's a couple of tablespoons, maybe 2 big old tablespoons, maybe 3. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Use what you want to use. You just need to coat the bottom of your pan. That's what we're doing, is we're making sure that we've got a nice coating on the bottom of the pan. Now I'm going to start with onion. Now you may think the onion doesn't belong in a jalapeno popper. Well, that's your business. If you don't want to put onions in yours, you don't have to. But it goes really good. When I tried this dip, I used these little red onions. And it's delicious with these onions in it. I'm sure that it would taste pretty dang good without the onion, but you know me, more is more, and bring on more. So anyway, cutting these little suckers up, and I'm just dicing them. I'm just putting them into pieces that will cook down and be an easy little bite, not necessarily a big old mouthful. And this is just one whole medium-sized red onion. If you can't get your hands on a red onion, or if you've got stuff on hand to make this with and you don't want to have to go to the store to buy specifically a red onion, well, use what you got. If you've got a yellow onion, a white onion, whatever kind of onion you've got, knock yourself out and use it because it's going to be perfect and it doesn't make a bit of difference. You know me. I'm all about use what you got on hand. So this is going straight in the pot. And it's on a medium to medium high heat because we want to scald these things pretty good. In the meantime, I have got my oven preheated. Now I have got it on convection because I want it to cook fast. If you don't have a convection, well, that's fine. It's just going to take a little longer, but I've got mine hooked up to 350, and that's sufficient. Now, I saw these onions in my refrigerator, and I'm going to use them because I need to get rid of them, and they're going to be great in this. So I'm just going to slice up these green onions. Throw them in. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong, y'all. If you like something, put it in. Shoot. Be different. Live on the edge. At least where jalapeno popper dip is concerned, you can live on the edge. So I've got my onions in the olive oil, and they're just frying up beautifully. Smells delightful. Heck yeah. Now I'm going to hit it with just a little bit of garlic. Now, there again, if you're not a garlic fan, you can totally leave garlic out. I'm a garlic lover, so I'm going to put in all the garlic. This is actually what's going to equal out to 3 big cloves. This little one here doesn't really count as a whole one. So, good catch. Just going to smash them down a little bit. And then just go at it and give it a rough chop. Because I want it in little pieces. I don't want big hunks of garlic throughout my dip. I want small little chunks that break down easy and cook into a good little soft bit. And when garlic cooks down just like an onion, it gets sweet. And so that's perfect. Yum, yum, yum. Now you don't have to just make this for the Super Bowl party. I was just giving an example. Because I am not much of a football fan when it comes to professional ball. In goes the garlic. Now, I do like a good SEC football game. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. Go Dogs! But other than that, pro ball doesn't do anything for me. But I do enjoy good college games. So you can make this for whenever you want to make it. If you want to make it on a Tuesday, you should make it on a Tuesday. Because everybody's going to like it. Even if it's just you and your kid, your partner, whatever. I'm putting a little bit of butter in because I need just a little bit more oil. And that was probably a good teaspoon of just big regular old salted butter. This is perfect. Now, jalapenos. I love the flavor of jalapeno, but I am not really all that into the heat. They're too bloody hot for me. I just can't do it. Now, this is 5 cups of jalapenos. Now, I sliced them in half, and I skinned out the membrane, and I took all the seeds out, and then I cut them into dice pieces, just like that. Not teeny tiny ones, because Brad and I both agreed when I made it the first time that I cut them up too small, and you really didn't bite into jalapeno and get flavor. You just bit into something and it tastes like cheese. So I left these in a bigger hunk, and I took one of the jalapenos and I left it whole so that when I sliced it up, it's still got the membranes and it's got the seeds in there because, well, you know, we want a little bit of heat. I don't want to blow the hair off anybody's head with the heat. So there's probably 15 jalapenos in here, and I left one whole. And you'll see there's some colored peppers in here. Well, those are just little sweet baby bell peppers like this. I had them in the refrigerator. I needed to use them, and so I threw a handful in there. And it's going to give it some beautiful color, and it's going to impart just a little bit of sweet flavor to it. Nothing crazy, but I mean, why not? So, I am going to let this sweat for just a few minutes. It won't take it long, and we're not looking to completely cook these jalapeno peppers down to where they're completely soft and done. We're just looking to wilt them just a little bit. We want to get the skin hot. We want the oils to start releasing. It's just a good pre-cook before it goes into our casserole dish to go into the oven, because it won't really take it that long to bake, and I want them doner than it would get if I just put it in the oven. That's why we're frying here just a little bit. So, there's that. I'm going to talk to you about what cheese we're going to be using, because one of the best parts about a jalapeno popper is cheese. Duh. So what I've got a brick. Oh, that's Oscar. I have got a brick of just regular cream cheese. This is full fat cream cheese. I don't like using the light or the Neuchâtel because it's grainy, and I just don't like that. I mean, It's not good for your figure, but who cares? This is the way to go. Full fat cream cheese, and I've got a whole block of it here. And I'm using a blend. This is some cheese that I grated up. It's from a block of Colby Jack. Colby Jack. It's got a beautiful flavor and it melts beautifully. The Monterey Jack cheese in this, it's just a beautiful melting cheese. Now, if you only had cheddar in your house, well then use cheddar. That's fine. I bought this on purpose because I like the way this tastes. I like the way it feels. I like the mouthfeel of the melt. I just like everything about it. So I'm using Colby Jack. And I've also got some cheese that I used on the micro grater. This is Pecorino Romano. It's a salty cheese, so you won't see me adding very much seasoning at all to this because it just doesn't really need it. This Pecorino Romano is going to give it enough salt to see it through. And this is also salted too. This cheese has considerable salt in it. So I think we're going to be fine. And at the end, when we're tasting it and we need salt, well, we can always put salt in, but you can never take salt out. So always be careful and try to season at the end of your cooking process. It just makes good sense to me. What else? I'm going to be using a little bit of hot sauce. I'm not using it for the heat. I'm just using it for the acid. This is rich. We're using different cheeses, and it's going to have a tendency to be powerfully rich in your mouth, and you need a little something to cut that richness. And I find that just a little bit of hot sauce works miracles. So we're going to be using some hot sauce. And now don't roll your eyes. And don't go gross. You need it. I'm going to be using a little bit of mayonnaise. Most of your dips that you use, even if you're not making them, the ones that you buy already made, this is the base. They're using mayonnaise. And mayonnaise is nothing more than emulsified oil with egg in it. Hello. We're going to be using it. So we're not going to use a ton of it. I just find that using mayonnaise as something to promote the liquefying effect in the dip, it just works better, because if you're going to put sour cream in here and cook it, more than likely it's going to split, because it's a dairy product, and dairy proteins, they don't like to be heated to the 350 degrees. It makes them mad, and so they split. That simply means they separate from the whole particle and the water, the moisture that's in it. It separates, and you can't get it back together, and it just ends up a clumpy, nasty mess. And we don't want that for our dip. We want our dip to be nice and creamy. So that's why I'm going to be using the mayonnaise. It's just the nature of the beast. So this is cooked down beautifully. I think we're almost to the point where we could throw in our cheese and get started. Yeah, and it smells real good. It smells warm, I ain't gonna lie. I can smell the pepper coming off of the pepper. Of course it's pepper. I can smell the heat in those peppers, that capsaicin. It might be a little stout for me, but that's okay. I'm gonna give it a whirl. So I'm gonna open up my cream cheese here. This is just one block. And I'm gonna cut it into pieces because it melts easier if it's not just one big hunk. So I'm just going to cut it into a few hunks like this, with a few blocks, and just, well, hello, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. And then one more. Now you can double or triple this recipe, and you can, if you think that this isn't enough cream cheese to make you happy, well, then add some more. This is just, a starting point. I'm going to eyeball it here. It worked in my recipe trial run, so I don't see why I would necessarily need any more cream cheese. But, like I said, if cream cheese is your jam and you want some more, then do it. Put another brick in. Thinking along the lines of different kinds of dips you could branch off from this. This would be awesome if you put some sausage. Maybe you could fry up some Italian sausage, or you could fry up some, I don't know, just some pork, just ground pork. It would be ridiculously good in this. There's no wrong answer. Not really. So I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. And I'm going to hit it with my Colby Jack. And this was I bought a 1 pound block and I cut it in half. So this is half a pound of cheese going in of the Colby Jack. And then this Pecorino Romano, well, I've microplaned it so it's real fluffy. I'd say that that's probably at least a good half a cup of cheese. It might be more, but it ain't less, trust me. Give it just a little bit of a stir. It's coming together. Now for the mayonnaise. I know, but it's going to be fine. You need it, it's going to be perfect. So, I'm just going to hit it with a few tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. I'm eyeballing it because I can't. Seriously, this is probably 3/4 of a cup, 2/3 of a cup maybe. But look what's happening. The cheese is melting. Holy cannoli. It's going to be so friggin' awesome. I can't. Just trust me. You're going to love this. Love it! So I'm going to move this. And I'm going to bring another heavy hitter to the table here, because what's the world without bacon? Shut up. I fried this bacon off. Well, I shouldn't say fry. I baked this bacon. That's the only way to cook bacon in my opinion, because it gets done on both sides. It stays flat. If you've never cooked bacon in the oven, do yourself a favor. 375, spread your bacon out flat like this and let her go for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, 45. And you end up with perfect bacon every stinking time. Guaranteed. Whoops, in the floor. That's okay, I'm done with it. So I've got this bacon and I drained it pretty good earlier. I'm just going to hit it a little bit with this paper towel. And I'm going to chunk it up. I'm cutting this off because it is completely melted. And like I said, I'm not necessarily trying to cook this. I just wanted to melt it. So it's at a point to where everything is nice and melted. And I'm ready for this bacon. So let me get my knife again. It's the one I used for the cheese. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm not doing special cuts. I'm just going to dice it up willy-nilly. Because, well, there's no science to it. If you're eating a jalapeno popper that's wrapped in bacon, well, you're going to get a good mouthful of bacon. So, you know, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that flavor to meld with the peppers. It's just going to be stinking good. And you're going to want to make it again and again just because I know. So look, this beautiful pile of bacon. Going straight in our cheese and pepper onion mixture. And I know this is kind of an indulgence because, I mean, it's, you know, it's greasy. It is what it is. But you're not going to eat it every day. So chill out. We'll stir the bacon in. A little more in my hand. It is marvelous. Okay, now I am going to set this to the side. I'm going to move my trusty little camp stove. I'm going to bring in my casserole dish. Now this is a 3-quart casserole dish. Now, you don't really need to use one this deep. But there's a reason to my madness here. I want my dip to be a thin layer. I'm not looking for a big, thick layer of like a Mexican 7-layer dip. I want this to be kind of a thin dip so that when I stick my chip in, or if I go at it with a spoon to get out a portion, it's not going to be this giant blob. It's going to be just the perfect amount. So I've got my spray, and I'm going to just spray it nice and light around the corners, just, you know, blah, blah. Now we're going to dump this directly in. This is going to be such a hit at your party. Or if it's just you sitting on the couch watching the football game, well, you're going to love yourself all the more for it. I promise. Set this down. Just going to spread this out a little bit. And look, it spreads out beautifully. It's not a great big thick dip, because this is a big pan. 3-quart pan is pretty large. The largest casserole dish that I have. And there we go. See how beautiful the peppers look? And they're not tiny pieces. They're actually good sized chunks. So we're going to get a big bite of that pepper flavor as soon as we dig into this. Now I'm going at this with my hot sauce. Now I could have stirred it up in there, but I forgot. And I just happened to see it. So I'm just going to go across the top like this. See, there's not a wrong way. Not a right way. We're just getting her done. Now that is probably, I don't know, 2 tablespoons. Because I feel that we want to use at least that much. Then I'm just going to kind of scrape it around in there just to kind of stir it up a little bit. As it cooks, it'll work its way down to the bottom. So this is fine. All right. Spread it out. Now, another good part of the actual jalapeno popper is the panko outside of it. That breading that's nice and crunchy when you bite into it. Yum. Well, we're going to use this. This is just panko breadcrumbs. Now, don't go crazy with the breadcrumbs. We just want to put a nice thin layer, because when you put too much of the breadcrumb, it just takes away from the pleasure of eating it. Trust me, it makes just a big blob in your mouth. So we're going at this with a nice thin layer of panko. So here we go. I'm just going to sprinkle just like this. I'm covering. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, I'll probably end up using maybe a cup. Can't tell you because I haven't measured it. I just kind of go at it like this to where I can still kind of see through it to see the peppers and stuff. But there's not like a 2-inch layer of panko. Because I want some of that panko to soak up the oil that's going to come out of the cheese and stuff. And that's going to allow the panko to brown and get good and extra crunchy in the oven. So this is a done deal, y'all. It's ready for the oven. I've got it heated up and it is ready to go. So I'm going to pop this in my 350-degree oven. I'm going to let it cook for 25 minutes. And when we come back, I'm going to take it out of the oven and it's going to blow your mind. I'll be back. Bye. Okay, y'all. I am back. I have let this dip cook for a full 25 minutes. And it wasn't as brown on the top as I wanted, so I put it under the broiler for 3 minutes. And it's just about to go off. So we're going to take it out and we're going to see what it looks like together, because I haven't looked at it since I put it under the broiler. So, beep. Here goes. Oh my. Great balls of fire. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Shut up. This smells so good. I can't even tell you how good it smells. And it looks, well, it looks pretty darn good to me. And it's just talking to me. It's bubbling. You know what I'm about to do. You know I'm going to go and dive into it because, well, I have to. And I'll burn myself, but I'll try not to. I'm going to go at it here on this end, and I'm just going to spoon out a little bit. Holy moly. Y'all, the peppers and the cheese, they've just melded together, and it smells just like a popper. It smells like what it's supposed to smell like. Now listen, I pulled out some tortilla chips. I mean, you're welcome to use whatever you want. You could use a club cracker, you can use a Ritz, you can use a saltine cracker. Heck, you could even go at it just with a spoon. Whatever makes you happy. I'm going to go at it with this. We'll see what it's like. I can already tell you that it's going to be fit to chew. All right, here goes. It is bloody hot, but it's bloody good. Dang. That's real good, y'all. I'm sitting here thinking, what could I possibly do to improve it? And I can't tell you one thing. I mean, let it cool down a little bit. I mean, holy smokes. It's about perfect. The only thing that I think that might make a difference, and you can serve it as an add-on, as an addition, you might have like a squeeze bottle sitting beside the dip with ranch in it, or you might even just want to get some of that shaker ranch and shake over the top. Because I mean, hello, don't you dip your poppers in ranch dressing? I do. It's missing that little bit of acid from the ranch, but otherwise, there's not one thing wrong with this. I guarantee. And you're going to love it. And it's going to be a hit at your party. It's going to be it'd be a hit on the sofa. Just with you. I'm telling you, this is delicious. And it's so easy to make. There's nothing special in it. It's just deconstructed jalapeno poppers. It's so much easier to make than standing there stuffing those little suckers and then rolling them in the panko and then the flour and the egg wash and then frying them. This is the way. Try this and I think you're going to be impressed. Listen, I'm going to post the recipe and the method on jamieteachmetocook.com. I will have the recipe there posted in Word format so you can save it, you can print it, you can do whatever you want to with it. I just hope that you use it, and I hope you give me some feedback because I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I want to hear what you do to make it your own. If you know something that I don't know that would make it even better, please share it with me because I'm so all about hearing from you. You know, I'd love for you to leave me a comment. Have a subscription. It's free. Just subscribe to my channel. That would make my day. Like the video. Come see me over at Facebook. You can catch me on Instagram. You can see me at Pinterest where this will be posted. I'm all over social media, and I'm sure that I will run into you at some point. So please come and see me. And in the meantime, enjoy the Super Bowl. I don't even know who's playing, but whoever has the prettiest uniform, that's who I'm going to be rooting for. So have a good evening, y'all. Go team me. Bye.
Honey? That's ridiculous.